Welcome back. This time we are focusing on a neighboring region to Asia. The focus is on the CIS markets, and we'd love to explore the marketing trends, outside of Europe, specifically on CIS. And with us for this conversation, we have Alina from FONBET. We have Peter from BingoBoom, as well as Valentyn, who's a consultant from within the industry with 7 years plus of experience. And I'd love to start with you, Alina. Tell us a bit about the marketing trends, a generic comment, what stands out versus other regions such as Europe. What stands out in CIS markets?
Well, maybe the first thing that we have here in Russia and in CIS market is that we actually, let's say in Russia, we only have sports betting, so casino is forbidden, and casino used to be legal, but there were lots of talks about casino, slots, and all this stuff, and people do think, lots of people do think that it's something illegal, it's something bad, it's kind of bad habits, it's not the thing that you can tell people you do. So some people really hesitate to say that they do sports betting. That's why we have to fight here with a lot of customers' perceptions and with a lot of negative stereotypes about betting. That's really very tricky. Another tricky thing is that we have really very strict all these laws and very strict legalization towards advertising and betting. So actually many of the channels are forbidden for us. Let's say all this Facebook channel is forbidden. I mean, there is no way you can put Facebook ads of betting company in Russia. All these things that do work, like retargeting, all this. When you show your ads on different websites to different customers, when you know that, for instance, all this context ads, like Google search, paid search, all these ads is forbidden. And these channels are really, they show good conversion, but in Russia, there's no way I can use them. So taking into account many people thinking that betting is something bad, the thing that really do works good as bloggers, as brand ambassadors, is something that shows credibility and something that really raises brand awareness, like TV ads, sponsorship. So let's say sponsorship contracts do really work in Russia because it has both. It's about advertising, it's about rising brand awareness, it's about additional credits to the company, like all this credibility stuff, and some social corporate responsibility. So yeah, briefly, is like that.
So less dependency on affiliates like we have in Europe, and more holistic approach in terms of advertising and brand building. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I really do not think that all this conversion channel like affiliates will work if you have zero brand awareness ads. So I really don't think it will work. So you should combine it, always about combination. But there is one more tricky question that, for instance, with our affiliates, we really with our CPA partners, we really do have strict rules, and we have lots of channels which are forbidden for them. And if we do see that our ads there, and we know that our ads, we always have a risk that affiliate can use the channels which are illegal for advertising that will cause problems to the company. So let's say there was a scandal. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure my colleagues from Russia, they do remember this. One of the Russian company, they had their ads in their entertainment channel with some memes and all this, in a platform with memes with some fun content and all those things. And actually there was some law problems with them, and they said we have nothing to do with this. It was our partners who put our ads there. They paid for this, and we do not know that our brand will show among this content, which is actually illegal because there may be children, teenagers, and all those things. So yeah, even if we do work with affiliates, we have really strict rules for them, and of course we do not want them to break the law. Yeah.
How was that case? Was it decided in favor of the operator or against the operator?
Actually, they get the fee for sure, because the fine. Sorry, yeah, because there was a fact that their ads was there, but work with their reputation. They said that they're going to be more strict with this, and all those things. That it was not made. They didn't have intentions to do this.
Thank you, Peter. Throwing the question out there: what distinguishes CIS markets in terms of marketing, let's say, versus Europe?
Most major sports event was shut down due to the virus. So from beginning of March, we see more than 50% decrease of all our statistics. Activity of current clients and website visits and turnover and revenue. We also have approximately 400 betting shops in Russia, and we see that 20% of our offline audience started to use our website. And we think that they will remain after offline will still operate.
Okay,
they will remain on the website. Yeah,
that's an interesting angle. So you guys, let's explain to the audience. You guys have actual land-based physical betting shops.
Yeah, we have betting shops. Alina also has betting shops, and I think around 1,000 or maybe more.
Yeah.
As I know.
So you're seeing a trend between land-based and online into working more hand in hand together rather than competing with each other.
That's it. And we hope that we can keep this audience and on the website, and we will also involve them back to place bets in betting shops. So
how do you see, I mean, this is an interesting point. How do you see marketing evolving to in an omni-channel sort of way, to take land-based players onto online and jump them back into land-based? Do you see marketing trends adapting to this?
I think it's about customer relationships management. It's more about communications. As for channels in BingoBoom, we use email, text messages, calls, push notifications. With our audience, text messages show the highest engagement. Push notifications work better with a younger audience. Email is the best channel to launch new promo or something like that.
Yeah.
So we see also some interesting things like open rate of emails within pandemic. It was increased from 14% to 22%, and click rate in our messages was increased for 3 times.
Yeah, that's certainly statistically representative.
And I think it's like the best way to communicate now with customers. It's like some internal channels of communications.
Okay. The floor is yours, Valentyn. A general overview of what makes CIS unique in terms of marketing.
Well, I think that especially when compared to Asian market, and the talks are called Focus Asia, right? So it would be interesting to compare what's going on in Asia and compared to the CIS countries. I think that in Europe, specifically in CIS countries, and talking of Ukraine certainly, we still have the rules which are a lot more relaxed in a way when communicating with affiliates. Obviously, I guess in Russia you guys have a lot stricter rules, but we are still going through the transition process in Ukraine, speaking of legislation. And I think that within a month or two, we will definitely see the framework for working with affiliates. And there will definitely be borders of what you can and cannot do. And those borders will be very clear.
Sorry, Val, you are based in Ukraine, in Kiev?
Yes, I'm based in Kiev.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't there like two, it's very polarized, aren't there like two main brands? Everywhere you go in Ukraine, you see two brands fighting for advertising space. If I'm not mistaken, it's FONBET and Parimatch.
During the last couple of months, what I can certainly see that players in Ukraine are taking really active role advising the government on the new legislation. And those two companies, they are certainly pro-European companies, and we would like to see the legal field as white in Ukraine, so the rules are much easier to follow. And speaking of affiliates, I think that within a month or two, we will definitely see clear rules of what you can or cannot do in terms of working with affiliates. While at the moment, they are more or less, I'd say, relaxed.
Okay, so at the moment, the affiliate model works in Ukraine. So you can have affiliate sites promoting various offers, but not throughout other parts of CIS, like Russia. Am I right?
From what I know about Russian market, obviously I don't have experience operating in that market or working in that market. And what Alina and Peter said, the rules in Russia are much more stricter, or much more strict in Russia than in Ukraine. That's my feeling. And I think that in Ukraine, we are moving towards those rules being in place. And I don't know, maybe they will be as strict as the Russian ones. But we are still in the process of this market going from gray to white, I would say.
A bit more specific. A lot of operators, not a few, quite a substantial number of operators in Europe would tell you that affiliate traffic would amount to more than 50% of their overall traffic. How comparable is that to a country like Ukraine?
Well, if it's a question for me, Eman, I really don't have those figures. I'm not coming from the marketing side, but rather from the business development side. I guess that it really depends on what region in Europe you are talking about and what region you compare to Ukraine. Obviously, we have really, and I mean, Europe being perceived as one country from Asia, in reality is a bunch of different territories, with each one having its own rules. So I would still say that the reality is very much different from region to region.
Yeah, and we were mentioning the agent system as well. Would anyone like to elaborate on the agent system?
Well, I guess I can say a few words. I have some experience of working with agents, and I think that in Asia the situation reflects the really strict rules imposed on working with affiliates. For example, taking we can also speak about the agents model in Asia, and that's a multi-layer model of different agents working with each other and sharing the profit. And each agent has its own customers. So in a way, every agent is like a business on its own, and it looks like a pyramid in a way. Things like WeChat advertising, things like working with the brand ambassadors are really popular, but actually working with the affiliate as such is really difficult.
Yeah. Peter? Yeah. What about bonuses then? So
bonuses for clients.
Extremely popular method of acquisition across Europe. How rampant is the issue of bonuses? Now, one, to attract customers, but how big of an issue it is to have players jumping from one casino to the other, chasing bonuses?
Yeah, I think welcome bonuses, it's a good mechanic, good thing for acquisition, yeah, and for retention also. But as I see, most of bookmakers in Russia at the moment cancel welcome bonuses mechanics for a period of pandemic. And I think maybe we will turn on again when big sports will come back.
Okay,
So because we need events like Bundesliga, like already came back,
like last time, yeah.
like Russian Premier League that we will return and we will have in the last week of June, and also other European football leagues. So and as we discussed before, yeah, we also need some huge events like Euro 2020, Tokyo 2020, Olympic Games, yeah, to drive effectively our growth like FIFA World Cup in 2018. So, I mean, bonuses should go together with some huge sports events. It not work just without sports.
Yeah. Alina, back to you. We're talking about bloggers, brand ambassadors, TV ads. Seems like that's the way forward for CIS markets. Can you say it's the same for most CIS countries, excluding Russia for the time being, but does this method apply to all countries across the CIS, or is it a case-by-case basis with a lot of differences amongst them?
Yeah, I think it's more or less the same. We also operate in Kazakhstan, FONBET, so we do have Kazakhstan license, and it's actually the same. And the good point is that many channels do work in synergy. For instance, we used to have a very famous rap star in Russia as a brand ambassador, and he also worked for Kazakhstan market because we had all the creative banners and all the stuff with him, and it works really good for Kazakhstan. So that's a good news. I mean, if you see most popular Russian bloggers, they do have maybe like 70% of Russian audience, and the rest is CIS. So that's really a good point. I mean, like this good news. So yeah.
Yeah, and a small other detail, language-wise, do you stick to Russian? Do you convert to other languages, Ukrainian, any other languages that help convert better?
Yeah, in Kazakhstan we have Russian, Kazakhstan, and English, but actually many people do speak Russian. So we see that the Russian version of the website is more popular than others, but we also do Kazakhstan. We have our social media in Kazakhstan in Russian language, just because everyone talks Russian. We have actually a regional team there, so it's not my opinion. So I'm saying like, well, guys, I speak Russian, so let all the social media format be in Russian. So it's not like this. The guys from our regional team there, they are Kazakhs nationality, and they told me that Russian is actually the best thing. But yeah, they also have some things like, for instance, in TV ads in Kazakhstan, you should use Kazakhstan language, and 50% of your ads should be in their language. So
more traditional audience,
yeah. Yeah.
What about Ukraine? It's best. Russian, Ukrainian.
Yeah, actually, we do not operate in Ukraine because it is actually forbidden. I mean, like, it's really a bit weird that in Ukraine there are really strong competitors, strong brands who advertise literally everywhere, starting from airports and finishing like streets and banners and the streets and outdoor ads. But the truth is that betting in Ukraine is illegal, so we do not operate there. But as Valentyn said, they have plans for legislation, so we're going to get the Ukrainian license. And what I can say, I have many friends in Ukraine who work in gambling. So they are really into this sphere, and they told me as an advice, do not go to the Russian or to the Ukrainian market with Russian brand, because I mean, like, it's hard to deny the tough political situation between Russia and Ukraine, which still remains. So maybe they told me as an advice, so you'd better change the brand. You'd better create a new brand and go to our market. Then you launch there with FONBET. So we haven't decided this yet, but there is the opinion of native, of citizen of Ukraine. I don't know, maybe Valentyn can also comment on this.
Yes, Alina, I want to support you, right? And in saying that you definitely need to localize the product, and by all means, anybody who plans to enter Ukrainian market should take care of Ukrainian translation, and not only translation, but the product needs to look Ukrainian. Ukraine became really patriotic country for the last 5-6 years, and we definitely see a tendency that Ukrainian language is getting more and more popular, and especially among the younger communities. So I would definitely suggest that a lot of effort should go into making the product look Ukrainian. Yes.
Brilliant. Unfortunately, we ran out of time. Certainly, there's so much to discuss on the marketing front at CIS level, but even on a wider level, so much regulatory discussions are happening as we speak. I look forward to the next presentation. Alina, Peter, Valentyn, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.